This is the Impulsive Thinker Podcast, a show for high-achieving ADHD entrepreneurs. Together, we will inform and educate you about how to improve your self-awareness while developing systems, routines, and habits for conquering the entrepreneurial world. Here is your host, André Brisson.
Hey there, it's André, the Impulsive Thinker. A while back at a workshop, we were looking forward 25 years. And so I was working on my 25-year plan. And based on a couple conversations I had that day, and something I guess I've been pondering subconsciously for a while, and I think the other thing I realized too is the ADHD brain, since it works so fast and since it can work on different levels, a lot of it's subconscious. And subconsciously, I believe I've been ruminating on this idea here, or maybe it was a challenge, something wasn't making sense. But either way, this is what I wrote down on my workshop notes. And what I wrote was, I was stuck working hard today and sacrificing today for a better tomorrow, with the belief that the tomorrow I envision will become today. But, a big but in reality, tomorrow never becomes today because what is done today changes tomorrow. And because of this, I was never present today. And I believe a lot of us would this would resonate with a lot of people is, I remember starting the company, working hard, even in my first job, in my first career there, I worked hard, believing and thinking that whatever I'm doing today will make a better future tomorrow for my family, my wife, and my kids. So therefore, I'm going to sacrifice and just do a bunch of stuff. Now, I've had some people I talked to saying this was a conscious decision. And you know what? This was not a conscious decision to sacrifice today or sacrifice relationships. It was, most of us, if you start a company from scratch and you got a family to feed and you got a mortgage to pay, at the beginning, you've got to put in a lot of time, make sacrifices to make it work. Yet, in a way, now it becomes a habit, okay? And turns into a vicious loop, a vicious cycle, which becomes a habit and it's hard to get out of 10, 15 years later. Like, look at me. I started in 2007 as an entrepreneur. The time of recording is 2023. And I just figured this out now, right? I've worked a lot on being more present and taking more free time at home, but I never really understood the why. I need to know the why. And this is what last week at the workshop, this is what hit me and this is what makes sense to me. Okay, because at the same time, not understanding that I was not present today because I was trying to make today tomorrow or have tomorrow become today made me feel like a failure because that tomorrow goal was actually an ideal goal. And since whatever I do today changes tomorrow, I will never achieve that because at the time also my concepts and my thinking and my goals of tomorrow, I was going to say something else, but I think they were pretty rigid and I had to meet those goals or I thought I was a failure. But it's an ideal. And because of I never reached tomorrow or I wasn't going in the right direction of tomorrow, I worked a lot harder, more hours, feeling like a failure and that wasn't going to happen. And at the same time, I think also I was pushing my team a little more to achieve these ideal goals. But the takeaway here I got is because tomorrow changes how today is accomplished, our success criteria has to be loose and we have to acknowledge the growth we made by looking backwards, right? And at the same time, what I've learned over the last 5-6 years, because I'm actually opening up my mind more, staying less rigid and set in my ways, which was a protective, maladaptive protection of me and my environment. But who said it was not okay to adjust our goals and the outcomes? Why can't I change my goals based on new data today? I'm still going to achieve a goal of A. But how I get there might change depending on the importance of other goals, the importance of maybe an event I want to go to, or maybe it's not that important anymore and I'll just shelve it or completely get rid of it. Or instead of making $2 million, maybe $1 million's enough. Nothing wrong with that. That's up to me. And it's okay. So I'm giving you permission that you can adjust your goals and the outcomes of those goals and the deadlines and the timeframes, actually. Don't forget about the timelines. A lot of times timelines, we stump ourselves or we sabotage ourselves because of unrealistic deadlines. So I'm giving you permission. It's okay to adjust, change, cancel goals, adjust, change, cancel outcomes of the goals that you're looking for. And it's okay to adjust, change, and get rid of unrealistic deadlines. Okay, so what you can set up the goal to be done in a month. But then you realize it's too big of a job to do in a month. It'll take 3. It becomes 3. Let's reduce the stress in our life. Let's spend the time with our family and friends. Let's go to that concert or go to some scuba diving gig that you've been dreaming about. And what's it going to matter to extend the goal by another 2-3 months? That was a big insight for me. And for me, the thing was, I was told in the past I was physically there, but I was not there. My mind was always working. My mind was always at work. My mind was always on the next big thing. And it couldn't settle down because I was not present today, because I was trying to make tomorrow today. But the elusive part of it was everything I did today changed tomorrow. Like a lot of people and smart people are saying, the future is not written. It's not predetermined. What you do today determines the future. And boom, that was my big mic drop, pen drop, whatever, chicken scratcher. I don't know where that came from. But I'm just going to read this again because this is a big thing for me. All right. I was stuck working hard today and sacrificing today for a better tomorrow, with the belief the tomorrow I envisioned will become today. But in reality, tomorrow never becomes today because what is done today changes tomorrow. And because of this, I was never present today. And because I know this now, and I think I realized this about 4 or 5 years ago, so I am more present today. But this just gives me clarity and the understanding of why. Honestly, I really want to hear from you about this, what you think about it. Share me your stories. If you can email me at andre@tacticalbts.com, that would be greatly appreciated. Or go to our website, tacticalbts.com, and send me a note there. Because, this really changed the way I looked at things. So thanks again for listening. And we'll talk to you soon. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Impulsive Thinker podcast. If you enjoyed it, subscribe, rate, and review the show. It helps us get discovered by listeners like you. If you can share it with at least 2 other people, that would be greatly appreciated. I want to gift you the Shit List. It's a weekly planning tool that I developed to plan my week and focus my time. You can find it at our website at tacticalbts.com. That is tacticalbts.com. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the Impulsive Thinker podcast. If you have a question, comment, or suggestion for the show, please visit theimpulsivethinker.com. The Impulsive Thinker podcast is produced by Tactical Breakthroughs and hosted by André Brisson. Remember, ADHD is only a part of you, not all of you.